Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fathers of Tastes podcast. I am Moses, and I'm here alongside my co-host, Eli. How you doing, Eli?
Doing well. Today's a interesting day, but we're gonna get into some good stuff. Hopefully it'll make it a bit better.
Yeah. We got a nice chillax kind of episode here. A lot of good vibes, I think, to be had. We were doing Ghost's Impera that we talked about at the end of our last episode. Again, it was a 2022 metal album by the Swedish band Ghost. As I said, during that episode, they are for sure, I think, my favorite artist right now. I love all of the work that I've heard from them over the past couple years, and they've really just made an impact on me. And I figured that this album, it's one of their essential ones. It's fairly recent. I think it's their fifth album. I figured that this would be a good one to get Eli into, because I don't think he'd ever heard a Ghost song, to my knowledge.
Nope.
No. So yeah.
Not that I know of.
This was an interesting one. I think we both have a lot of thoughts here. It's honestly not too bad of an album. 12 songs, 46 minutes.
Not like the behemoth.
Oof. There's
the behemoth that's coming.
There's a monster.
It's a good behemoth. It's a great, monstrous behemoth that is coming. Oh, so in the last episode, we got to talk about this, because we were talking about it on the side, but we have to talk about it officially in the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So, come to find out that Rage Against the Machine is metal. Rage Against the Machine is rap metal, apparently. We were trying to figure out the difference between hard rock and metal, and come to find out, whole time I was itching because something was fishy, because it was. And Rage Against the Machine is a rap metal album. It's a rap metal album. Not just metal, it's rap metal.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to make that known. I was itching because something was wrong, and something was wrong, and I was onto something. It is metal. It is metal.
No, yeah, that is a good point, because this is a categorized as a metal album. I know actually we looked into this one too when we were trying to see what made this one metal as opposed to Rage being hard rock. And this is kind of it's metal with some
glam metal.
Yeah, glam / arena rock.
Glam metal. I've never heard of glam metal. It sounds like sparkles and glitters. Sparkles, spice, and everything nice. That's what that feels like, bro. Honestly.
That's funny. But yeah, it's
the Powerpuff Girls.
The Powerpuff Girls were born. Professor Utonium and his Chemical X, whatever the hell that was.
Whatever the hell that was.
Chemical X, probably Fent or something, bro. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? We'll never know. We just know he made 3 super strong, tiny girls. This is crazy.
Right. We will never know what Chemical X was, but what we do know is that both of these albums are metal, but they are very different shades of metal.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Very different shades of metal.
Yes. This
50 shades of metal.
Yeah, like it said, 50 Shades of Metal. Silver, slightly gray, even more slightly gray.
Oh.
50 Shades of Metal.
Oh my god. 50 Shades of Metal is insane. Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Hilarious. But yeah, not really too much to say more for the intro here. It's the first Ghost album I've fully listened to, and it's the first Ghost that Eli's ever hearing in general. I think we have a lot of interesting things to talk about here, Eli.
We do indeed. Bring us in on the track list. We're ready.
I got you. All right. So, we start this album with Imperium. Eli, what are your thoughts on Imperium?
Well, I will have to say that out of all of the albums that we've listened up to this point currently, this is probably the worst intro we've had.
You think this one's the worst one?
Actually, nah, that Kanye one was good. I gotta go back and listen to the Kanye one before I make a definitive claim on this being the worst one. This one just, it doesn't have any lyrics.
True.
Oh, the intro is King for
yeah,
Kanye's album. I kinda like King a little bit. I like King a little bit. I just didn't like White Lines.
Oh my god, I forgot about White Lines.
I hated White Lines, bro, with a passion.
I got that song out of my head.
I was just like, alright, bro, relax. You sound like a grandma with the thing that she put to the throat to talk.
Yo.
I was like...
I've been smoking for 7 years.
This can't be it, bro. This can't be right, bro. Oh my gosh. Yeah, bro.
Those anti-smoking ads sound.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, bro. It's just, that just wasn't it. But Imperium was mainly instrumental. So, guys, we have come upon a crossroads, me and Moses.
Yeah.
And determining some things with like certain tracks. So there are tracks like this one that don't have any lyrics. Typically, we don't have a rating for those, so we would just put like NA, non-applicable really, because there is really nothing there for lyrics. But we would grade the track the same way as everything else. Now, mind you, if we listen to an album that has like interludes and skits into it, we won't typically have ratings for interludes, simply because we don't want them to bring down the value of the album. Because you could have an interlude and it be really good, or you could have an interlude and it be really bad.
Yeah.
But depending on like what is in it, I just feel like we shouldn't touch interludes, because that'd be like if there was a song that we gave like good lyrics to, or like we gave a good rating to, but then we gave that interlude a really bad rating, and that was like a pivotal moment of like the album. We'd rather not face the backlash of, saying like, well, why would he rate this and, bring down the value of the album? So like when it comes to interludes, we'll just label them as an interlude, and then most of the time, depending on like what kind of interlude it is, there won't be much to talk about.
Yeah.
That's how we'll treat interludes for now, up until, honestly, Moses is probably the best way to deal with them, right? Because we don't, like you said, we don't want to bring down the value of the album because of an interlude, something that is not even necessarily a part of the album.
Yeah, it's hard to like give like the same kind of like rating like on the same scale as like a fully fleshed out song, because like interludes and skits can be like so many different things. Like it could be like just like little like studio demos, or it could be tiny like instrumentals like some of the ones in here are. It's hard to compare that to the rest of like the album when everything else is like so fully fleshed out, or hopefully fully fleshed out. But yeah, it's just there's no real reason to give them like the same kind of grading consideration.
So with Imperium, which is the first track of this album, I put NA for the lyrics, because there's no lyrics. There is no lyrics, so I'll just put NA. But I rated everything else accordingly. That's how I felt it should be rated. I gave it a B for instrumental, an A for production, and a B for vibes. There was nothing to hate about this song. There was nothing to dislike about this song, but for me, it wasn't really anything much to like about it either. So I kind of just put, like, the BAB across, the board, because, like I said, it's not bad, but it's not like great either. It comes to intros and openings of albums, this one wasn't really a strong case, but it still gave me enough incentive to be like, all right, let me hear out the rest of this album.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my thoughts for Imperium.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot really to say here. It's a minute 43 instrumental. It actually is. I didn't notice this until like earlier. Like I was like re-listening to some of the songs, and I just like re-listening to it. I just like shuffled the playlist just so I can get like a different like vibe as opposed to just going straight down the track list like regular. And in that shuffle, it actually put Respite on the Spitalfields like right before Imperium. Basically, I heard the last track, and then it went into the first track, which is this Imperium, and I didn't even notice that this instrumental was in that song. Like this instrumental, yeah, this instrumental.
Oh, so it's like a full circle.
Yeah, this instrumental is like the last half of that last track. So I guess we could talk more about this kind of like beat and instrumental then, but just for now, just Imperium. Honestly, I gave
It's funny that you say that, because when we get there, it's gonna be hilarious when we get to the last song.
Oh no.
It's gonna be hilarious when we get to the last song. Just prepare.
Oh man, we got a whole bunch to look forward to now.
Indeed.
But yeah, just for this, I honestly, it was a little weird rating these instrumentals for me. I gave this one all A's because I really like the rock ballad vibe that it's giving. It feels kind of like old school, like a love ballad. But I mean, that's really all I'm mostly getting is like vibe. I think vibe and production are definitely A's. But yeah, I mean, for an opening track, it's less engaging than you'd hope because there are like no lyrics and it is very short. But I think it does a good enough job like leading into like the second track. It's okay. It's not my favorite opening track. Kaisarion. Okay, so our second track. This is one that you've been singing to me a whole bunch.
Just literally the one word. Kaisarion! Like, that's it. That's it.
Prophecy told.
That's it. That's all I know. It's just Kaisarion! And it was just the way that he sung it, and I just thought it was funny, so yeah. I was like, you know, it kind of stuck a little bit.
That part is catchy. Honestly, everything here I give A's minus the lyrics. I did think Imperium bled into this pretty well, but it is a bit more like energetic than like Imperium was. Like I said, Imperium was more kind of like classics, like a slower. This is just like this is immediately going in with like more energy. It's like and it's just like it's a whole lot of energy. The lyrics,
you didn't see much to like.
I thought it was okay. I feel like there's some better subject matter in some other ones. This one, I didn't hate these lyrics. It was just like I feel like there's some better messages that are like more deserving of A's than this. At least to me. But I mean, I like the rock. I like the production. I mean, everything I like music-wise here.
I don't know. So, for me, I feel like I delved a bit deeper into this song by going in to figure out what Kaisarion was. And I found that Kaisarion was a leader of Egypt, the son of Cleopatra and Julius Caesar, and it basically represents a lost heir.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kaisarion, a prophecy told, we're building our empire, like the Egyptians and the Greeks ended up building their empire, like, together, right, eventually, after, Greece invaded Egypt, if I remember that correctly. I'm no history major, so don't quote me on this stuff. I'm no history major. I just trying to remember what I learned in school. Sorry, Rage. Sorry, Rage. You know, I'm trying to channel back in what I learned from school. You know, but
sorry, Rage.
Yeah, from what I know, I'm pretty sure like they were building an empire. That's where we got oh my gosh. That's where we got the Rosetta Stone from. The Rosetta Stone was the same message written in Egyptian, Greek, and then a mix of the two languages together on the Rosetta Stone. But it was the same exact message, just translated 3 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're building an empire. We're building our empire from the ashes of an old Kaisarion, the fruit of the womb. Kaisarion was born of Cleopatra. What was she? The last ruler of Egypt, technically, before, it collapsed.
I've got no Egyptian knowledge for you here. I forget all that stuff. I can give you irrigation. That's
I can give you irrigation. Yo, but I gave the lyrics an A for this song, which might be surprising to you. But I gave it an A because, like I said, I delved a bit deeper into a good bit of the subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like the different things that he was speaking of was like, oh, okay. Some of it was kind of poetic, and some of it you had to look in a little bit deeper into to get an understanding of.
Yeah.
So that's why I gave it an A, because there was some stuff that I had to delve a bit deeper into to get an understanding. The instrumental for this one, I gave a B. The production, I gave an A. And the vibes, I gave an A. I just like him singing. The way he sang Kaisarion was just kind of did it for me. Like, it just stuck. And that's basically been like my vocal stem for like the past couple of days. As Moses mentioned before, is like, I'll just literally go around like, Kaisarion! And he's like, you like that one, huh? And I'm like, just that word. But yeah, it wasn't a bad song. I liked it. I thought it was pretty decent. I don't have any more to say on this one. I just thought, like, it was funny that Kaisarion just became like a little bit of a vocal stem. And it ranges from the tales of Egypt.
Yeah, it does have some of the most catchy stuff there. Yeah, I did like that first verse you were talking about. That was like a set of lyrics I did like. I think it was just like the overall story. I just I felt like more could have been said maybe. But
yeah, it is what it is.
What it is. So then with that, we go into the third track already. Spillways. What are thoughts on Spillways?
You might be higher up on this song than I am.
Damn, that means I definitely am higher up on it than you.
You might be higher up on this song than I am. I didn't really have a huge problem with it. I mainly liked the instrumental of Spillways. Like, that was the most redeeming quality of this track, was the instrumental. I think that was the best part of it. So, I gave a B for the lyrics. I gave an A for the instrumental, and I gave a B for production and vibes.
Okay.
And that is only because, like I said, I felt like I enjoyed the lyrics of the first one more. But this one here, Spillways, was more so, I like the instrumental. I honestly do believe it carried the song. It carried the song for me personally when the lyrics weren't really saying much.
Interesting. Yeah,
it is. And I'm sure you're probably higher up on it than I am. But we'll see when we get to those ratings. Let's see those ratings.
Yeah, so basically what I'm understanding is that we basically just inversed on those, I guess not first 2 tracks, but like the first 2 tracks after Imperium, just the instrumental. We basically just like inversed. Kaisarion, it's not one that I hate. It just like lyrically wise didn't grasp me, but everything else I do adore. This one I love everything about. I gave everything A's here. This one lyrically did actually grip me a lot, and I guess I should probably say this. There could be like a bit of bias because Spillways is a single that I've like known for a while now. Like I've known for like years about this song, and like it's been like in my playlist for like a long time. I have experience with Spillways, but to be honest, I never actually looked at it this lyrically before. So everything would have gotten A's anyway, like production, instrumental wise, just because I do like love the sound of this song. Like I said, I've been listening to it for years, but I did give the lyrics an A because kind of like going through it, I like the story that's being told. So Ghost, they kind of lead into, they're not cultists. I should say this. They're not cultists. They're not Satanists. But they use a lot of like satanic, and a couple of songs that we'll talk about later, we'll get into it a little bit more. Like, especially like another one that I know you have like that like is stuck in your mind a bit because you do say it a lot. They do get into like some like satanic like imagery and
demonology.
Yes, some demonology. Yes, exactly. This one, it's a fun twist on that, because a lot of like what they'll do sometimes is like embrace that kind of like demonology, and this is like one of those times. Like the opening lines are, through benediction you tried to rid your mind of malediction, but through all this time you tried to peel it off, and it's such a ride. And basically like this whole song is about how that vile, that kind of like sin that you try so hard to like get rid of and live without and try to like pray away, like all it's doing is just tormenting your soul. So you have to like, you kind of have to give in sometimes, like, you know, like through the spillways of your soul, you know, is how you'll like learn to like release. So it's just like a fun song. I don't know, it really resonated with me lyrically.
That's fair. I mean, being a believer, certain things just don't, hit me in the right way. Yeah. This was kind of one of those. And another track that we'll get into, we'll deal with that in a bit. Because sometimes I'm curious, and I want to know, like, would you want to relate to that kind of stuff? But the music is here, and the music is known as a gateway, which is why typically, though I listen to everything, I am careful of what I put into my soul. This album wasn't what I thought when Moses said it was gonna be metal. I was expecting more screamo and hefty drum, bass, some guitars. Like that's what I expected. I did not expect, this shade of metal, quote unquote. And that was just something that I didn't expect.
Yeah, Spillways is definitely one that kind of feeds into like some of that like kind of like imagery and the way that they like kind of propel like their message sometimes, that I vibe with, that I'm like, I don't know how Eli's gonna feel about this. That's why I was so like I was a little surprised when you said that you actually enjoyed the album for the most part. I was like, wow, I wasn't sure how you were gonna interpret it, just because sometimes they're a little out there with how they like send these kind of messages. So honestly,
yeah, very much so, much so out there with it. But it is an art. But I honestly think you could tell what kind of people are into what when you actually sit down and look at them and you and see. But if you don't, like, yeah, I mean, they are definitely out there with it, but not to a certain point where it's like, all right, this is kind of bothering me to listen to. But they are a little out there with it. So when we get into the next one, we'll talk about that too.
And the next one being Call Me Little Sunshine. Eli, what you got for this one?
So Call Me Little Sunshine, funny enough, happens to be one of my favorite songs off of this album. Song number 4, I find it to be one of my favorite songs off of this album. And it's extremely catchy. From instrumental to production, I love the vibe. The only issue that I have is I'm trying to figure out why he wants to be called a demon. I'm not too sure. But I thought about it and I talked with Moses about it and I'm like, well, if we think about it, everybody on the like New York drill rap scene is like, you know, I'm really a demon. I'll shoot him and I'll leave him fiending. Like they really like that's how they like really rap and that's really how they talk about it. And I'm like, well, I mean, I guess it's not too different from, you know, New York or drill and just drill in general, because there's plenty of places for drill. There's New York drill, there's Baltimore drill, there's Chicago drill. Like there's different genres of that, and you know, basically all of them talk about like the same, you know, around the same thing. New York drill probably being the most popular one, but they always refer to themselves as demons. So it's like, you know, I can't really take too much away from him calling himself a demon, but in a more, how do I say, a more intelligent way, I should say. A more, not necessarily a more intelligent way, maybe a more clever way to say it than just like outright like, I'm a demon. And it is an extremely catchy song. And as we spoke about before, this album to me comes across, it has a lot to do with Greek roots. I believe Mephisto or Mephistopheles, right, is of Greek culture. I believe he is. I'm gonna look it up really quickly so I know.
There is a lot of history.
He's not Greek. It's from he's a demon from German folklore.
Oh. Zedimo.
But yeah, Zedimo. But yeah, he's from German folklore, and they do bring in some ties to some Greek in throughout this album. They have ties to Greek like roots, like when we get later on into the album. But this was one that I was like, okay, interesting. Like I really like this one. I thought it was catchy. Like, not even thought it was catchy. It is catchy. But as per my ratings, I gave it a B for lyrics. But I gave it A's for everything else. So I gave it a B for lyrics, but I gave it an A for instrumental, an A for production, and an A for vibes. Because I really do like the song heavily. Like, I love the song. You know, the only thing that kind of just doesn't really, like, sit right is called the man calling himself a demon. But I guess for the intents and purpose of what the song is, you know, I guess it's a metaphorical way to refer to himself. As more, as less than a literal way to describe himself. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, there is a good bit of ways that you can interpret kind of things like that. Because, like, even with, like, Spillways, like the song kind of being, like, basically, like, allow yourself to kind of, like lose control and, like give in to some of those desires could, like, you can interpret that as, like, either, like, literally give in to sin, which is kind of a crazy message, or it could be something, like, along the lines of, like, more like a rage, where it's, like, don't hold yourself to certain like, don't kill yourself trying to uphold, like, certain standards. Like, essentially, it's just a song about just being yourself, like, allowing your true nature to shine and not, like, give in to what people force you to be, like, kind of like conformity. And this one, like, you could make an argument that this, like, either is, like, an actual demon trying to, like, corrupt someone, or it is, like, someone that's, like, powerful in society that is also trying to, like, indoctrinate someone. Like, I mean, there's a couple different ways you could read these things. There's some more interesting songs, I feel like, thematically later down the line. Call Me Little Sunshine feels like it has potential for some deep messaging, but it feels more straightforward to me. So I also gave it a B lyrically. But
I understand.
Besides that, yeah, I just 100% agree. Like, everything else was an A for me. It's catchy. I like the sound of it. The vocal performance I like as well. Like, there's some very catchy parts in this. It's like, you will never walk alone. You could always reach me. Like, there's a lot of good, like, vocal stuff here. Like, I like the way he's delivering these lines. It's just the lines themselves aren't particularly anything special. But yeah, I mean, I think everything else here is good. I think everything else here was done very well.
I could agree. Literally mirror to mirror. Mirror to mirror.
It's like in my mirror. I had to switch the reference because last time I referenced R. Kelly in the last episode.
We do not condone R. Kelly on this podcast.
Yeah, the last time I made a
we
He
will
Looks
say
at
that
Me
once more.
reference and forgot that it was an R. Kelly reference. First controversy.
Just let it go there. Just let it rip.
I want to apologize for offending the anti R. Kelly community. My joke was misplaced, and I have since learned from my actions.
I've since learned. Yo. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
you got any more notes for this one? We can go on to the next one.
No, I think we are good to go right into Hunter's Moon. Now, I really want to hear what you say for this one. I'm not gonna lie.
I really do like that instrumental, though. I like that instrumental heavy. That...
Yeah.
I was just like, I like that. Like, it sounds pretty good. I thought it was interesting. So basically what I did was when I listened to this, I kind of, it's literally mirrored to Call Me Little Sunshine. I gave it a B for lyrics and an A for everything else.
Mm.
To me personally, I don't feel like there was anything of deep substance that made me want to give it an A.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just stuck with the B, but it was an A for everything else.
Got it.
I didn't really have much to say for this one. I felt it was a vibe. Like I said, that instrumental, oh my goodness, the instrumental hit me heavy. You know, it was like that quote-unquote hard rock, but hard rock's just metal, so, you know. Or is hard rock just metal? We'll never know. I can't wait until we get to the genres episode so we could actually, like, you know, go into a deeper dive on these genres, because there's some interesting things to get into. But, yeah, this song, Hunter's Moon, I mirrored it to Little Sunshine. Yeah, that was it. That was all I gotta say for this one. I don't have too much to place on it. It was decent. It was a good track. I would hear it. I hear that instrumental. I get a little hype about the instrumental, but that's about it.
Okay, so yeah, we ended up being two sides of the same coin here. That was why I was curious to hear what you were gonna say, because I thought you were gonna actually be a little lower on it. I'm not gonna lie. This song lyrically, it's a little rough to me. There's not really anything we're saying here, which I guess
There's no way I'm higher than you on lyrics, right?
No, we're both at a B.
I was about to say.
It was just like when I was like listening to the album and I'm like looking, like researching into like these lyrics, and then I come across this one and I'm like, man, there's fucking nothing for me to
nothing in this song at all whatsoever.
Right. Which
nothing to be delivered.
This was, I think last episode I alluded to there being a song that was like a single for like a movie. This was that single. It was like released for like the credits of like it was like one of like the more recent Halloween like Michael Myers movies that came out. Yeah.
That makes it a little better, though.
Yeah.
And it does kind of make it a little better. If you think about the context of Michael Myers, and it's called Hunter's Moon.
Like a hunt, yeah, like the
Like,
Michael.
come on. And then the song, I mean, but no, we will not be giving brownie points for that.
Right.
The ratings are solidified as they are.
Because at that point, we're just glazing Halloween.
At that point, it's just like, oh, it's Michael Myers. You know what? Give it an A. No, we're not going to do that.
No, yeah. I'm completely fine giving it a B. It was, like, a little dour just to, like, hear, like, the rest of these songs. Because I'm, like, even if I'm giving, like, some of these, like, Bs, I'm, like, I could see, like, where some of, like, the it factor like is like where like the actual like the sauce is in some of the lyrics. It just might not have hit me too well, but there's like literally nothing of substance in this one. But yeah, I mean, I love the production. I love like how like when you get to like that first verse when he's like, though my memory is faded, and it actually like fades like the audio out for like a second and like does like a little switch.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun
and that's
stuff.
Why I gave the production a A. I'm like, yo, this is actually what? That's solid, bro.
Yeah, vibes solid. A, production A, instrumental A. Honestly, this one is mostly for the vibe. So I guess like as you're listening to it and you're like getting into like everything musically, you don't really care about the lyrics. It just sucked that like I was going through all that effort to look into the lyrics and then just came up with nothing. Like I got
nothing.
But you know what? It's a good track. It's a good single. Just maybe could have been a little bit more entertaining lyric wise. But I mean everything else makes up for it.
Essentially.
So then after that, we have The Watcher in the Sky, Eli.
Searchlights.
There's
for the watcher in the sky.
There is some catchy stuff in this album, bro.
Definitely catchy, bro. Honestly, this song to me, I actually did really enjoy the song. It was a bit repetitive at the end because he did say it like 20 billion times, but you know.
Oh yeah.
For me, there was some good things in here. It's like the kaleidoscopian visions we've seen. Tell of bloodlines of top notch. The predestined will dispatch while your realm has rotted on our watch. I was like, all right, that's a bit. There's something there. It's something to like there. Let's see, what else do we have? He's like, we signal to another dimension that we stand here ready for reply. Communication is key when you unlock to believe. And he's like, can you see what I see? And then it goes into searchlights, looking for the watcher in the sky. Like, this song is just mainly catchy. I kind of do feel bad for giving the grade that I gave because I feel like I should put it lower, but for this, I gave it an A for lyrics. Believe it or not, I gave it an A for lyrics.
Blasphemy.
I gave it a B for the instrumental. I wasn't like a huge fan of it, but I did like the chorus a lot. Like, it was extremely catchy. The production, I gave an A, and for the vibes, I gave a B. Mm-hmm. Funny enough, I do really enjoy the song, Moses. I do vibe with it. I gave it a B, though, because it's a 6-minute song, and, I kind of did start to feel every bit of that 6 minutes. And, when you start to feel the 6 minutes, like, It's bad. It's bad when you feel the 6 minutes. So it's like, I was feeling the 6 minutes, so I gave it a B for vibe because it did kind of tamper with it a bit. If the song was maybe a bit shorter, maybe instead of 6 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, I would have, appreciated it maybe a bit more. Mm-hmm. But for what was said and what was done with it, I just felt 6 minutes may have been a little too long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's kind of similar to like that. I think that one song from Rage we were talking about, where like it's good to like a certain point, and then you have like 2.5 minutes of just repetition, and it's like, all right, bro, we could end this song like a minute to a minute and a half earlier than this.
Yeah.
This one I think is like a little under like 2 minutes of like that repetition. Like once it gets like the being repetitive. So yeah, there is a bit of that space, but yeah, I agree with a lot of stuff here. The instrumental, like the guitar, I do vibe with. I mean, honestly, everything I gave here is A's.
Understandable.
Yeah,
Completely understandable.
I think the catchiness keeps me going for like that long duration. Honestly, I didn't even realize that this was that this was 6 minutes until you said that.
Yeah, because when I listen to it, I'm like, I like this song. You know, Sir Slides. And then I'm like, all right. Then I get to the end of the point, and Sir, looking for the watch, Sir Slides. Looking for the watch,
Yeah.
Sir Slides. I'm like, all right, bro. Is the song over yet? Like, how many times are we going to say it before the song ends? I'm like, it's catchy, sure. But, like, when it's all said and done, like, when are we gonna call it quits? Because I started feeling it, and I'm like, all right, bro, like, how much time do I have left on this song? And then, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, what's it called? I love the lyrics here. This is like another kind of like story kind of telling like song in this album, where like the lyrics are like actually like about something, which I find to be beneficial. Well, what were you saying? You started making the noise.
Oh, yeah, because I was about to say something. I had to let you finish your thought though, but I really wanted to discuss this. Is the Watcher in the sky like aliens? What is the Watcher in the sky exactly?
So, for me, this is actually like a well, actually, I think it could change depending on what you actually believe. So, for me, I'm not really like the religious type. So, things like Spillways or things that Ghost does that are like more on the surface, kind of like digging into like satanic like demonology roots, are things that don't necessarily like impact me the way that I feel like they could potentially impact you, just because, like you said earlier, like you're like a believer, like you're stooped into it. So I feel like there's like a little bit of like a different perspective there. But it's interesting for this one. I kind of feel like we're doing a 180 from like the satanic stuff like directly, and I feel like for me, I feel like the Watcher in the sky is like God. It's either God or aliens. If you don't really care about like a God figure, then maybe you could say, oh, it's just like aliens. But I think the Watcher in the sky to me is like a godlike figure, is what I would kind of like akin it to, and it's like basically like a song about like humans like using like kaleidoscopes, like using like scientific technology to like basically search for like that presence, like the search for God. And it basically is like kind of criticizing people for that, like criticizing people for like using these like advancements in technology to seek out that presence, not in like a like calling them dumb or anything like that, like belittling them for searching for God, but it's like I feel like it's emphasizing that search is more like within, like the communication is key when you unlock to believe. Can you see what I see? I think it's kind of just saying like you can't, like it's something beyond, like you can't search for like aliens or gods or like whatever like beyond with like your little like telescopes and shit, because it's beyond our comprehension. So like searching for the metaphysical and the supernatural or the mythical, whatever thing that you're searching for through like physical technologies is basically like a dead end. Like it's like you're just gonna keep you're just gonna keep looking for the Watcher in the sky, basically, is how I interpret it.
Well, I mean, it does say because there was some things that I was looking for that might give us a clue to what the Watcher in the Sky could be. And I think you might be right that it is like a godlike figure that he is looking for. Because it says, for the light of our Savior is Machiavellian grace, and the sheen of his splendor, there is a better place. And honestly, they could be talking about, God, or, honestly, though, I feel like God is probably like the center focus. Considering that they have been talking about demons and things before. Honestly, I think it might just be not necessarily a spiritual album, but it does delve into spiritual and religious aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why, I looked at the album from a standpoint, because if you are a believer, whether you believe in God or, a higher power or the universe, you have to automatically believe in an opposite power. There's no way that you could believe in something and not believe in something opposite to it.
Right.
So, if you believe in demons and devils, then that means that you also must acknowledge the existence of God or a higher power. Just like if you believe in God, then you also have to acknowledge the existence of demons and devils. So they kind of go across that through this album, and I feel like they do it in a way where it kind of took off the edge of Spillways and Call Me Little Sunshine, because he's just talking about a religious / spiritual landscape in general.
Yeah.
So, so Watcher in the Sky probably is about God, but, we can only speculate.
Yeah, it's definitely vague enough. Like I said, you could swap that out for, any sort of, big world kind, or something that basically just, supersedes, human experience. Really, anything it really could be, it could be tying to. So, yes. All right, so after that, we get to, Ghost's interpretation of Intentions from 21 Pilots.
So, and it's funny that it's called Dominion right after he's talking about the Watcher in the Sky. I do see what he did there. Cause like we said, he could be talking about God, and to name the song Dominion right after you have a song talking about the Watcher in the Sky. It's like, all right, maybe he was talking about God in the previous track when we get to that. But Dominion has no lyrics at all whatsoever. I do, however, believe that it is better than Intentions.
Oh, you don't hate this much as Intentions. I
don't hate it as much as I hate Intentions. I really hated Intentions. This song, it wasn't bad, but to call it Dominion, and then you're calling it Dominion, but you have kind of the trumpets going, and when they say God is coming back, the trumpets will sound, and the gates will unseal, and each trumpet unlocks a seal and opens and unleashes something on the world, so on and so forth. For them to call it Dominion and have and use trumpets and horns and different things as an example, I thought though I didn't necessarily like the song, I'm not gonna say that I hated it. I definitely didn't hate it. I see the idea and I see what they were going for, which made me soften up on it a little bit. So it was a NA for lyrics, but I gave it a C for the instrumental, I gave it a B for the production, and I gave it a C for the vibes. This song was kind of just a filler song. But I did understand the vision, which is why I guess I rated it a bit higher than I did Intentions from 21 Pilots, because that song just was extremely disappointing.
Yeah.
This song was disappointing, But that song was, like, extremely disappointing. So it's like, you know, like, I see the idea, I see what they were going for, and it was like, all right, like, I can't be mad at that. Like, I understand what you're going for. So I can't say it was too bad.
Mm. At least this wasn't the last track of the album.
Yeah, at least it wasn't the last track of the album.
The only thing this was missing was those who's that we love so much.
Yeah, we would have really hated it.
Especially because he never did like anything like that. There was like nothing.
He's never done anything like that, so it was experimental. But honestly, like,
yeah,
it gave us something to talk about. We hated that song, and we did talk about it for a good little bit at the end of that episode. But it was just that bad to where we're like, all right, bro, like, we got some gripes with this one, and we got to talk about them. Because if we don't, it'll be a disservice to the podcast.
It was just such a poor way to end that album.
Yeah, unfortunately.
At least we have songs after the Minion. Yeah, I don't really have anything really to add here. I mean, initially I gave it B's, I think just kind of to be nice, which I think I might have also done that for Intentions too, and then changed it to like all C's or something like that. So I might do the same here.
I was being nice too, and then I just completely dropped that.
Yeah, I do remember that. It's just for an instrumental, it doesn't feel as inciting as like Imperium did. Like at least Imperium, like there was some like excitement, like some engagement. This is just
gave us something to look forward to.
Yeah,
this one,
it did give us something to look forward to at least. This just, I don't know. This just feels like medieval white noise, bro. I don't know what.
White noise.
I don't know.
I could agree with that.
Yeah, not my favorite. Not my favorite. But yeah, we can just go on from there and go into Twenties, which I was gonna say. The only explicit song on this album. I know you're pretty high on it, I think.
I am very high on this song. Yeah, you know, the Minion may have tore my hopes down a little bit for whatever was gonna come after it. But with this song that came right after it, where is it? I had to rewrite my notes. I lost my notes for this album, and there was a couple of things. But most of the notes were for this song. And, you know, the 20s is like a it's a pirate-esque song, and it was like rock meets jig, like a pirate jig. And I was like, yo, I really like this. Like, yo, this is actually kind of hard. And the vocal performance that he had and used for this song was like, nah, he actually like put some thought into this song. You know, as he was, you know, writing it, he actually put some thought into the song. The cadence that he gives off like the cadence of a pirate.
Yeah.
He's like, what did he say? He said, assassinate, gather the tools to disintegrate, hate, reaping the seeds as a reprobate. I was like, yo, like, he's really delving deep into this, like, pirate, like it's literally a jig. It's a jig, and it feels good. I really like the song. So for 20s, I gave it an A for lyrics, an A for instrumental, A for the production, and an S for the vibes, because I really rock with this song heavy. And the way that he did it, he's like, in the 20s, we'll be singing in a rain of pennies. In the 20s, we'll be soaring in the skies of bevies. I was like, yo. I actually like this song. I'm like, yo, this is it's like rock meets pirate jig. I was like, yo, this is extremely creative. And I like that. I really like this. So I was really high on it because of how creative it was. And it felt fresh and original. And it's been a while since like I felt like I've heard something fresh and original.
Yeah. You're just slightly higher up on it than I am. This is one where I love everything musically. I find it kind of similar to Kaisarion, where I think I just don't grasp the lyrics here. I don't necessarily grasp like either like a story or like a clear like focus. It kind of feels like a call to action kind of song, like similar to like the way that Rage Against the Machine had like a bunch of like protest kind of songs, like the way that it's like it's like, listen up, you motherfuckers, those Ivy League dopes, they want to mock us, tell them all that this is war. Like it's kind of like and like you were saying, like with the gather the tools to disintegrate lines, and like like part that you were talking about earlier. It's very energetic. I love the like performance. I love everything music wise. I just don't know if I mess with it lyrically on a way that I do with, say, something like Watcher in the Sky. Just for me personally. But I mean, everything else was something I love.
Yeah, I love 20s, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. You over there smoking, man. You missing out on the
Kaisarion and 20s.
And the 20s. We are both, by the way, in our 20s as well, so it's a little funny to hear.
Some might be pushing 30 though.
Nah. Pushing 30s around here. Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. But yeah, that was it for that. I don't have no more notes for that. 20s was my favorite, probably my favorite song, but it has been in contention.
It's fighting.
It is.
Could it perchance be fighting for that spot against this next track, which is The Darkness at the Heart of My Love?
And it is exactly that it is fighting against. Back-to-back hits after, I'm not going to say it was trash, but it wasn't great. After Dominion, to give us these two tracks back-to-back, I was like, all right, it gave me a fresh breath of air. After having to listen to Dominion and then going into 20s and Darkness right after, back to back, it breathed life back into me for this album, because I don't know, like basically what I had listened to so far, I had the album based, and the album wasn't like too great for me at the start. Like Kaisarion, I said I listened to it. I literally only liked the part of it where it was like Kaisarion, just the way that he sang it. Spillways was a bit interesting to me. Call Me a Little Sunshine was extremely catchy. It grabbed me as soon as I first listened to it. Hunter's Moon was interesting. I really liked the instrumental. Watcher in the Sky was extremely catchy. And then we hit Dominion, and then it kind of like deflated it a bit for me. And then to give us 20s and Darkness at the Heart of My Love back to back, I was like, all right, we're in it again.
Some late game bangers.
Yeah, we're back. We're totally back. So I gave Darkness at the Heart of My Love A's across all categories.
Valid.
I might, though, however, I will change the vibes from an A to an S in my official book of ratings here. I'm going to change it from an A to an S. Okay. Darkness at the Heart of My Love felt like a classic rock song. The instrumental drop was beautiful. Like, I feel like it was one of those songs where you'd listen to it years and years and years later on down the line, and it still gives you that same feel almost as to like the first time you heard it. It gives me the impression that they made this song specifically to be timeless. And it gives off, to me personally, it gives off the vibe of it being a timeless song. I feel like this song is timeless. I feel like I could go down and listen to this song and go out, and then in the next 10 years, that would be 2032, and the next decade after this album release, I feel like you could go back to this song and it would still hit like the same way that you listened to it the first time before. I really like this song. And there were some lyrics in there that, you know, that made me look and be like, wow. He starts off the song, when the summer dies, severing the ties. I'm with you always. I was like, wow. He's like, we're severing the ties, our connection to each other. We're severing it. But I will still be with you always. It gave me a powerful message. And it felt like it was a love song. It definitely was a love song. And that's what kind of that classic rock felt it like hinged on. That's what I got from it. He was like, my path serpentine. Or no, he said, will you walk the line? Remember always that love is all you need. Tell me who you want to be, and I will set you free. And then he goes into the chorus, there's a darkness at the heart of my love. And I'm just like, I'm looking into it, and I'm like, yeah, they wrote this one with the intention of it being a classic. I just don't think there's any other way you could put it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm right there with you. There is no darkness at the heart of my love for this song, bro. It's just pure love, bro.
Just pure love for this song.
I love the instrumental. I mean, high key. I think I gave everything an S outside of lyrics.
That's fair.
Lyrics,
and I might follow you and do the same because I do really enjoy this song. It honestly really is a classic feel.
It is. Yeah, it's so like in my like notes, because for like certain songs I'll write like a quick little like phrase or like something that like helps you like remember it, like if I really feel that passionate about it. And for this one, right next to putting it for like an S vibe, I put that it went back to that like ballad vibe that we got from like Imperium, like at the very start of the album. Like it feels like an old like 80s kind of like rock love song. Like I love like the tone of it. I love how the lyrics fit with it in like a variety of ways. It feels like a better like execution of what Call Me Little Sunshine was, in terms of like what like the lyrics are saying. Like on the surface, it's such a like it feels like such a like an old school like traditional like love song. So you're getting like so much like nostalgia from it, just from it like existing. Like it's like a throwback, but kind of like in that like Ghost fashion. There's a lot to unpack in the lyrics. I forget what song it was, but there was a song. It was like a little darker. I can't remember what album it was from that we did. But there was a song that you compared to Hey Ya, from Outkast, where it's like a more upbeat song.
I'm pretty sure that had to be from.
I feel like it was from
the episode Nevermore. With If Nevermore.
Yeah, I also feel like it was from Nevermore, but I can't think of what song.
I just can't remember what song it was though.
But yeah, it was like, for some reason I'm between like In Sunder and no, because that is a little darker.
Because In Sunder is I'm about to say a little bit darker.
I can't remember.
Was it Mycelium Eyes?
It could have been Mycelium Eyes.
Wait, hold on, let me see. Because it might be, if we take a look back at it, it could have been
could have been a couple things, honestly.
It might have been Mycelium Eyes. Either that or it could have been I don't think it was Make Me Forget.
I definitely think it was Nevermore.
I'm pretty sure it was from Nevermore. I just don't remember which song it was from Nevermore. Was it could it have been High Wraith?
That would have been pretty late in the song. Or that would have been pretty late in the video.
Yeah, pretty late in the album. I'm pretty sure it was earlier in the album.
Yeah,
we'll have to go back and listen to that episode and let you guys know. Because I don't remember, but I know I'm pretty sure there was a song in there that we compared to Hey Ya.
Yeah.
Where it was like upbeat, but the lyrics were like darker. But because the beat was so uptight, because the beat was so upbeat, it made the song like upbeat.
Yeah.
Even though the lyrics were dark, and it made the song catchy.
I remember
Just
you
can't
making
remember
that.
which one it was though.
I remember you making that comparison, and I feel like it came up for me in relevance here because like the song is called like "Darkness at the Heart of My Love," which like when you read that title, you're just like, ooh, I'm like "Darkness at the Heart of My Love." That has like some connotations to it, but then when you listen to the song, it's like it feels like a traditional like love song. It's like it feels romantic, but then like looking through the lyrics, it goes like it makes sense why the song is called "There's a Darkness at the Heart of My Love," because if we're thinking about like the perspectives of like what this song is taking, like we were saying earlier, like there's a lot of demonology and kind of like darker like imagery and like perspectives that ghosts will usually go to. So if we're thinking about it from like either the perspective of a demon or Satan like himself, basically just saying like it's basically like offering like a dark hand. It's like, with me you'll have like companionship, like I'll always be with you. There's a love that I'll have, but there's a darkness at it, like within it, like there's a corruption. Like, especially like when you get to like lines like, "Will you walk the line? My path is serpentine, like a snake." It's like there's something twisted within the lyrics, but it's masked so like effectively by that like love ballad that
and to further piggyback off that, right? There's another 2 lines that he says that could also fit in with that theory that you were speaking about. And he said, "Will you spill the wine to summon the divine?" And I was like, oh, wow. If you go back to that, my path is serpentine. But, will you walk the line? My path is serpentine. Will you spill the wine to summon the divine? It's like the darkness at the heart of my love, like spilling the wine is like a ritual, essentially.
Yeah. Like communion,
but he's like,
right? Or something like that?
It might be communion. It might be in reference to communion, if we're going to be honest. But if you think about it, right? Well, all right. So, right, if we're going with the communion stance of it, right? There's a darkness at the heart of my love, right? So when he said that, like God died on the cross for our sins,
right? Like
he died with nails through his hands and feet because he loved us. There was darkness in what they were doing to him, but because he loved us, he gave his life to set us free. I just thought about that, and it connects through the communion.
Yeah,
because the communion is like, all right, you take this cracker or this wafer or whatever, you break it in half. It represents the body of me on the cross, and then you drink the wine that represents my blood. And if you look at it, it ties back to the darkness at the heart of my love, because I have the love for you, but there was a darkness not necessarily within me, but there was a darkness I had to go through to give you my love. I was just like, wow, like this song, I kid you not, this song is timeless. Like we could almost put like an S for lyrics just off of
after we talked about it.
Like after reconsideration, like we could honestly put an S for the lyrics for this song, because it could be so many different things. It could go into so many different things, and then based off of like what the topics of the album are around like spirituality and like religious, you could make the claim that it could have been Satan that was saying, yeah, I'll offer you the dark hand. But you could also say it was God, by eating, his body, taking communion, that you're trying to call him forth. It could be looked at either way, especially with the way that they laid out the spiritual landscape that they put through the album. So like for you to bring up communion, And I thought about it, but like for you to bring it up, it just was like, yo, instantly, I gotta get on this like now because it makes a whole lot of sense. And as it pertains to the message of the song, it just fit the theory. Both theories just fit in so well that it could be either or. Because why would you? I mean, you could sever ties from God, right?
Yeah.
You could also sever ties from Satan or demons or whatever it is. You could sever ties from anything that like you have. That's people, that's animals, that's like you could sever ties from anything that you have a set relationship with. So like for the song to be called at the darkness at the heart of my love is like, there's something deep in it within it, but also simple.
Yeah.
It's simple yet complex. It's grungy yet beautiful. Like it's something about this song that just has all of these aspects to it that makes it what it is.
No, yeah. You know what? Honestly, actually, I might give it the quadruple S because I brought up like thinking about it of like the Dark Hand bit, but then like when you talked about like thinking about it from like the other side, because like we were talking about like this song or like this album, depending on like the song, it kind of fits into like both worlds, like the Satanist side and then also like the God like side of songs like Watcher in the Sky. Like they're like it really could be both. Like this album, like as far as we were talking, kind of dives into both worlds, and so this song actually is like a perfect mix because I didn't even think about like that, like the way that you could see it through like the Jesus perspective, where it's like there's a love, but it came from like a dark past, and like there's dark ties and connections to it. It's, man, this song is great, bro.
It is a great song. And I might actually have to follow you with that triple S. I really do I love the song. And honestly, just off of the conversation that we're having now about it, it might just have to be at the top of the list. Like Twenties might have just solidified itself as first place with just this conversation alone. It was something about this song that it just hit so many markers and it did so many good things. So in my official rule book, or not my official rule book, my official rating book, I will be giving Darkness at the Heart of My Love an S for all four categories. It is an amazing song, and the time that we just spent bouncing ideas off of each other and theorizing like what things could mean genuinely is how lyrically it's worth an S.
Right.
So yeah, that I changed mine I gave it the quadruple S, and I don't usually give out the quadruple S, but this song, now that we've talked about it, it's warranted.
Yeah,
it's
I wasn't expecting it either. I mean, like I had S's for all production wise, but yeah, I mean, I was honestly I was kind of scared to give it the A lyric wise, but I felt like it did enough when I was looking at it like the one perspective, and then when we kept talking and then like it opened up like more talks, it's like, damn, yeah, this actually is better than I thought it was. And I already had it high, so
it's like I already had it high, so now the next thing is just to go ahead and give it that S. Give it that S.
At that point,
yeah, it's definitely well worth it to give it, because like I said, beautiful, bro. If you can interpret a song multiple different ways and each way you interpret it makes sense, it's a good song written. It's a good written song lyrically.
Yeah. When
you could look at it from multiple perspectives and be like, yeah, I know. That makes a whole lot of sense. So, yeah, that one definitely takes the cake for best song on this album for me.
Yeah, which sucks now that we have to move on to Griftwood. I feel so bad for Griftwood now.
So, alright. So, Griftwood is interesting because it's not bad. I think the chorus is extremely catchy. But in terms of the lyricism comparatively, Griftwood just wasn't as deep. But I don't necessarily feel bad for Griftwood, and the reason why I say that is based off of the ratings that I gave it. I gave it the A-B treatment. That's what it got. So I gave it an A for the lyrics. I gave it a B for the instrumental. I gave it an A for a production, and a B for the vibe. So I gave it that A-B treatment. Mm-hmm. I mean, great song overall. But to come down from 20s and Darkness at the Heart of My Love.
Yeah, it's unlucky.
You know, it is, like, this song would have been better maybe if, like, we weren't coming down from the highs of those two. But still a really solid track for me to begin with. Like, I like the chorus. He's like, are you righteous? Yes, you want to play with the sire. Mm-hmm. Yes, you want to view from the spire. Yes, you want to see by the pyre. And never ever suffer again. Like, this song also kind of gave me, like, yeah, this could be a classic rock song too. Like, if we look down later on down the line, we look at this song again, it might grow on us. Mm-hmm. I do think it is a good song. I gave it an A for lyrics for things like, he's like, you, Holy Mother, you washeth the sin from my feet. Holy Mother, you shine like the sun and the moon and the stars in the sky. Holy Mother, you know, and he says it again, like, and he's like, the world rests heavy on your shoulders. And I was like, wow, like, you know, like delving back into that holy, the Holy Mother would be like the Holy Mother Mary. So mm-hmm. to like Catholics and, you know, people of, you know, Catholic nature is called Mary the Holy Mother. So, you know, for him to bring mention of that to this song, you know, you call yourself a believer, or he's like, you want to guide the believer. You know, the Holy Mother guiding the believer is interesting. It's an interesting way to present the album. I'm not gonna lie, it's good. I like it, and it is an interesting way to present the song, and it is interesting lyrics within the song. I just think it's good. I like it. It's solid.
Yeah. So I guess I'm like a little slightly higher on this than you. Everything for me here is A's. It definitely, I feel like it's like a minor but decent enough step down from Darkness at the Heart of My Love. Like, I really like what we're saying, like, lyrically. Again, kind of like continuing on. It's just like not as high as, like, I can't give it an S lyrically here, because I don't think it's as high as Darkness, but it is still like really good stuff nonetheless. So I did still want to give it an A. And then everything else, like the catchiness, the like you were saying, like the performance on the chorus, it's very easy to get into. And I like this vibe, like instrumentally, compared to some of like the other ones that we heard like earlier. It's just a really solid track. It does suck that it has to follow Darkness, honestly, but it is a really good track, especially for it to be so late in the album. I know sometimes you and I were talking about it after recording like one of the more recent ones. We were talking about how a lot of the albums that we've been like choosing to listen to have kind of like faltered in like their last half, and we haven't had much to talk about in like the last half of some of the albums, because some of the better tracks are really towards the beginning of the album. Yeah.
And this one happens to kind of break that pattern. Because like we said, I'm very high up on Darkness, 20s, and Griftwood. I think are all three really good songs that all come in the latter half of this album.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate what we get with whatever the next songs is supposed to be.
Yeah. So this is like another, dude, this is 31 seconds long. We get another Dominion and Imperium where it's just an instrumental.
No, it's not another one. It's far worse. It's so bad that we're just gonna call it an interlude at this point, because there is still another song left after it. So we'll just call this one an interlude. So we're not giving this one any ratings, because I don't want to bring down the value of the album just based off of this being one of the tracks.
You know what? Actually, I might have been harsh on Dominion, because listening to this, I call Dominion like the Ghosts version of Intentions. Nah, it's more so this one, because
it's this one.
The same
Definitely
way you have like ooh in Intentions. Literally, all this is just down, 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 ding, down, 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 and it's that like 4 or 5 times for 30 seconds.
And the crazy part about it is like we get that same conflicting feeling, and we're like, oh, it's supposed to be spooky, but it's not spooky nor soothing. So it's like, what is it? Like, what is this? What was the purpose of this? I don't know. I tried to understand. It's 31 seconds, so there's like not much time.
Yeah, like
at this point, there was like no point in like putting this on the album unless they had like some kind of time quota they were trying to hit or whatever, and that 31 seconds helped them out.
Maybe.
I don't know, but
the song's called Bite of Passage.
Bite of Passage.
I don't know where it's trying to take us.
Play on Rite of Passage, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know where it's trying to take us.
There wasn't anything funny about it.
Cause I don't see a passage, to be honest.
I don't see a passage.
Passage to where, bro? Where are you trying to take us?
No. It's a passage. It's a passage to the respite on the Spitalfields.
Ah, yeah. It's passage to the next song so that we can completely forget that this exists.
Yeah, legit.
All right.
Legit.
With that being said, then
we finally get to what we've been waiting to talk about this entire time.
True.
Remember when you spoke to me earlier about how you had this album on shuffle and Respite came before Imperium, and then you realized that they were the same instrumental?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when I told you I gave a B for the instrumental of Imperium?
Yes.
I also gave a B to the instrumental of Respite on the Spitalfields. Funny enough. And I didn't even know they had the connection to each other. I didn't even know they had the connection to each other. Because like they were so far apart as I was hearing the album. But funny enough, I gave them both B's, so I was still consistent on that. And guess what? I also gave that an A for production. Guess what I gave Respite? An A for production. So I got an A for the lyrics for this one. I got a B for the instrumental. I have an A for the production, but I gave it a C for the vibe.
Oh, really?
I did give it a C for the vibe. That is the only thing, that's the only rating different from Imperium to Respite is the vibe. And technically, I guess I could push it up. But, like I said, the problem that I had before, I forgot with which song it was, but the problem that I had before, it was Watcher in the Sky, where you could feel the 7 minutes of this song. This song is 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And you could feel all 7 minutes of the song. And I'm just like, alright. I mean, like, I loved the lyrics. The lyricism there was nice. But you could just feel all 7 minutes of the song. And it kind of hurt for me. It kind of hurt the song for me, honestly. Because it could be better if shorter. And if you think about it, like, you look at all the lyrics that they have here, you look at all the lyrics and you realize, man, I don't think there should be a reason why this song is,
that long,
7 minutes long. Like, I give you a perfect example of a song that's long, but is well worth it of it being long. And that's Hotel California by...
Ooh, yeah, beautiful.
The Eagles. And that one is perfectly justified to be as long as it is, considering that the instrumental breakdown that they have in that song is so good.
Yeah.
That it's well worth it, and you don't even feel it, really. You kind of just you listen to it and you're vibed all the way into the lyrics up until you get into the next verse, and there you're still vibing to the instrumental, but he's back now. And then by the time you get to the end of the song, you're like, damn, I listened to the whole song
right
already. You know, like, that's what we mean when we talk about songs that are long, but they don't feel that long. It's like songs like those, like Hotel California by the Eagles is one of those where it's like that song can be as long as it wanted to be, but it didn't feel as long as it wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we ended up getting that, and that's good stuff there. But yeah, this song, I just felt every minute of it, and that was the problem. That's a problem for me. Like, I don't have a problem with listening to a long song.
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem when I'm listening to a song and, you know, you feel the length of the song. It's like, there should be no reason why I feel like this song is 7 minutes. But I do. I feel the song is 7 minutes. And there wasn't much of a switch up to justify this song being 7 minutes long.
Yeah. But
what I will say is that at least it wasn't a bad ending to the album, because we've had rotten luck on those. Had rotten luck on those from the first three were bad. The first three were terrible. Bully, If Nevermore, and Breach. All of the last tracks were trash. So at least with, you know, this one and the episode before, like, we finally got to a place of ending the albums on a good song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so weird. I have so many conflicting opinions about this song. I could probably write an essay on how, like, my different emotions, like, vary throughout this song. I'll say this. I like the instrumental, and I like the performance, like the production and stuff. Both of those are A's in my book, because there are some interesting switches as well, like in between like verses and things like that. My thing is the lyrics. I am so perplexed. So this was like one of like the songs that I like researched into, just kind of like to see like what it was talking about. This is a song about Jack the Ripper, and
really,
I'm curious why we dedicated this last track to Jack the Ripper randomly out of nowhere.
Now, this one, I'm not gonna lie, this one was not one of those that I liked enough to do a deep dive into. But it being about Jack the Ripper makes a whole lot of sense and makes it way funnier. Way funnier.
It's like,
I was like, wow. But then again, if you think about it though, if you actually listen and pay attention to what he's saying, you may not have thought exactly Jack the Ripper, but you did think like a murderer of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, that's what I thought. Like when I listened to it, I'm like, all right, he's talking about some kind of murderer. But never in a million years would I think it was a dedication to Jack the Ripper. Never.
Yeah.
So that one really came as a bit of a shock to me.
So, yeah, I'm, like, it just confuses me. Maybe it's my fault for doing research, to be honest. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I should have just let it be vague and let it, like, be how it is. Because basically, what this song is about is, like you were saying, like, just listening to it vaguely, it's, like, about, like, a murder, yeah. So, basically what you got is, like, it's, like, from, like, the perspective of, like, the guy that, like, committed this stuff. And essentially, like, what it, like, is a song about, like, at its core, is about how, like, a town or, like, a group of people that this, like, sort of event happens to, like, how the shadow of that event, like, looms over, like, those people. The reason why it ties back to Jack the Ripper is that, like, in the song, like, the guy is just, like, I wonder if I could find, oh yeah, I'll be the shadow, you'll be the light, nothing ever lasts forever. we will go softly into the night, which basically just is affirming, like, again, like the shadow thing, like I was saying, like it's shadow over the town, but also the fact that, like, Jack the Ripper, like, committed, like, those crimes and then just disappeared forever. Like no one knew whether or not he was going to come back again, if he was going to strike, if he was still in the area, if he was long gone. Like, no one knew. There was a lot of uncertainty. And so this song basically, like, maintains that, like, dread and uncertainty around knowing if something that evil can come back again, or if it still is, like, lingering around. I get that, and, like, I get the story. I just can't get past the Jack the Ripper thing. I'm like... Which...
I mean, no, that's actually completely fair, though, because a song like specifically talking about Jack the Ripper, why? Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, yeah, I guess the understanding of creativity, like, there is creativity, sure, like, go ahead and be creative. I have no problem with that. But, like, I don't know, a song just about Jack the Ripper, like, I mean, I can't sit up here and say that I don't like the concept, because there is a song that I listen to about Jack the Ripper, but it's not like the actual person Jack the Ripper, if it makes sense. It was about an anime character, Jack the Ripper, from this anime called Record of Ragnarok. And basically the guy rapped about the character in Record of Ragnarok, not like the actual, like, person himself, if you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't necessarily have an exact problem with the idea of it, but execution does become a factor.
Yeah. For me, I'm just like, there's a lot of interesting, like, themes and messages around, like, religion and around, like, people's connection to, like, this, like, these larger than life, like, beings and ideas and systems. And then we just have, like, this song that basically does, like, a pumped up kicks, but for Jack the Ripper in Spitefield.
Essentially.
It's like, it just kind of comes off as, like, random to me. So I really don't know what to grade it. I guess I shouldn't hold it back for the Jack the Ripper thing. So maybe I'll give it, like, an A for lyrics. But yeah, this was just a track that threw me off. Not like a bad track, because again, I do, like, fuck with it heavy, like, musically. And, like, I like the rock and I like the sound of it. It's just listening to the lyrics, knowing what I know, I'm just like, I can't really get that image out of my head while I'm listening to it. So that was my only thing.
That's fair. That's fair. What, I don't remember your other ratings. I know you gave it an A for lyrics, but what did you give for everything else?
Everything else was an A.
So you gave it the quadruple A across the board?
Yeah, I just gave it A's across the board.
Okay. That's fair.
Because, again...
You were going to hold it back because of the Jack the Ripper thing? He's like, yeah, I didn't vibe with it terrible. I'm just like, all right,
No. It just, like, it caught me off guard, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. Like, the whole time I'm thinking, like, why is this a Jack the Ripper song? I'm like, there wasn't, like, anything else, like, religion-wise that would have fit, like, the theme and kind of, like, motifs of the rest of the album. I'm like, we had to do, like, a random...
I would have thought, but, yeah, I would have thought, but...
It just caught me off guard.
I mean, and Saint Jezebel is technically a religious theme, but that's only, like, one... Or like, salting the earth with the tears of Jesus, that's only, like, two lines in there that are, like, are religiously related. The rest of this song is, like... You're absolutely correct. It just doesn't fit the motif. But, nonetheless, overall, I think it's a good track, honestly.
Yeah.
But what do we think about the album as a whole?
That is a good question. Did you have a rating prepared?
I do have a rating prepared. I will definitely have to give this one like a... What did I give? Wait, first, before I say that, what did I upgrade Breach to? I did upgrade Breach to an 8, right?
I think you brought it up to just an 8, yeah.
So this one, I'm not gonna necessarily say I think it's better than that. I think I will put them on the same level. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Actually, I think I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 off of the inflatedness of Darkness at the Heart of My Love, because I'm really high on that song. But to just base the rating of the album off of just that one song is kind of criminal, which is why I boosted up the rating for Breach, because I couldn't just like grade it off of just that one song being so bad. So this one, if I'm gonna be honest, if I had to rate this one, I'd probably still give it an 8, honestly. Because if I think about it, the instrumentals, the 3 instrumental tracks kind of did ruin the mood a little bit for me, but Imperium drew me into the album, so I didn't have that much of a problem with it. Dominion, the title of it kind of had religious themes to it, and then like the instruments of choice that they used for Dominion was like, okay, this is good. It's well, not good, it's decent. Let me see, what else? The Bite of Passage was just like an interlude, and I just felt like they shouldn't have even put it on the album. But I'm not gonna use those 3 tracks to hold the rest of the album back.
Right.
So what I would say is I'd go with an 8. I'd go with an 8 out of 10 for this.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting because it's a 12-song album, but you have 3 instrumentals.
So it's technically only 9.
Yeah, so you're really getting 9 like fully fleshed out songs. I'm trying to think about how many of those 9 I love.
It would be crazy if I'm higher on this album than you are.
No, I think I'm a little higher on it than you are as a whole.
I was about to say, it'd be crazy if I'm higher on this album than you are.
I feel like maybe I wish there was like a little bit more cohesion with some of like the like themes and motifs, because like there's some good vibes, but lyric wise there were some songs that I didn't really jive with just because they didn't feel as focused to like a central kind of like motif like the other ones were. I think I would go like 8.3 is kind of calling me right now, like a light 8. Maybe just like slightly higher on it than you, but still not, because I think I gave If Nevermore like a 9. It was either like a strong 8 or a 9. So I don't think that this is as cohesive as that is. So I wouldn't give it a strong 8. So I'd go like 8.3, like a light 8.
Understandable. So with that, our ratings are as concluded. Mine is an 8. Moses is an 8.3 out of 10. Honestly, this album is extremely solid. I did like the way that they played with the religious themes. You know, I thought the concept of the album was pretty interesting. Like I said, though, the 3 instrumentals out of a 12-track album kind of threw me off. Mm-hmm. And to use an instrumental as like an intro, and it's not like an electronic house or dubstep album, is kind of insane to me. But, you know, it worked. It still drew me into the album and made me want to listen to the rest of it. So I guess it did do its job as an intro track. So, I'm bringing you guys next week's album. It's an album by Hozier called Unreal, Unearth, Unending. It is a monstrous album. 26 tracks, an hour and 39 minutes. And you will be getting our ratings for that episode, or for that album, on the next episode. I'm really excited for this album. I've been wanting Moses to listen to this album for a little while now. And he's never really been a big Hozier guy outside of Take Me to Church. But who doesn't know Take Me to Church? So it's like, you know, to listen to this, I'm ready for him to see what it is that makes Hozier. So on next week's episode, we will be uncovering unreal, unearthed, unending, and it may be our very first 2-part episode because there will surely be a lot to talk about and a lot to speak on when we listen to that album.
Yeah, a lot of
So,
songs,
ladies
too.
and gentlemen, yeah, a lot. It's 26 songs. There will definitely be a lot we have to speak on. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this episode of Fathers of Taste with your 2 hosts, Eli, and your other host, Moses.
Yo.
And we look forward to seeing you guys on another episode of Fathers of Taste. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.